Title: I bought a generic smartphone from a vending machine in a subway station. I think it's trying to optimize my life. Read by Throwaway Null Device. Posted 6 hours ago. I'm writing this on a library computer. I don't want it to track the keystrokes. I don't even know if it works that way, but I'm not taking chances. If this post disappears, or if I stop replying, just assume I've been archived. It started last Tuesday. I live in NYC, and my life is a series of financial disasters held together by duct tape and caffeine. I was rushing to catch the L train when some idiot tourist swing dancing with a selfie stick knocked my iPhone 11 out of my hand. It hit the concrete platform face down. You know that sound? The sickening crunch of glass that tells you your bank account is about to suffer. The screen was obliterated. It was dead. I had a gig delivery shift in an hour, no insurance, and $60 to my name until Friday. Panic set in. I looked around the platform, frantic, as if a genius bar would materialize out of the subway grime. That's when I saw the machine. It was tucked into a dark alcove near the emergency exit, past the buskers. It looked ancient, a hulking metal box painted a matte, light-absorbing gray. No branding, no Best Buy Express logo, just a single flickering CRT screen glowing green and a row of coil dispensers. Most of the coils were empty, except for slot E5. Sitting there, shrink-wrapped in simple clear plastic, was a black rectangle. The handwritten label taped to the glass below it read, "Smart Device, Unlocked, $49.99. It felt like a trap. It felt like the start of a bad joke, but I needed a phone now. I shoved my debit card into the rusty reader. It groaned, thought about it for a painful 10 seconds, and then the coil turned. Thump. I grabbed the package. It was cold. Not sitting in an air-conditioned subway cold. I mean ice cold, like it had been pulled out of a meat locker. I tore the plastic off on the train. There was no box, no charger, no instruction manual, just the phone. It was sleek, made of a material that felt like glass but had the friction of rubber. No camera bump, no buttons on the sides, no charging port. Great, I muttered, turning it over. How the hell do I turn it on? My thumb brushed the center of the screen and it instantly flared to life. No boot-up sequence, no logo, just a sudden high-resolution home screen. The background was a shifting, abstract geometry that made my eyes water if I looked at it too long. The battery icon in the top right said Infinity. That was the first red flag. Not 100%. Infinity. I tapped the settings icon, a gear that looked like it was made of bone. The OS was called Praxis version 1.0. I'd never heard of it. I navigated to network, fully expecting it to be a brick until I got a SIM card. Carrier, omnipresence. Signal, 5 bars. I hadn't put my SIM card in. There wasn't even a slot for one. Before I could process that, a text came through. The notification sound wasn't a chime. It was a soft, guttural click, like a tongue against the roof of a mouth. Sender, system. Message, welcome user. Optimization protocols initiated. Current efficiency rating, 14%. Unacceptable. I stared at the screen. 14%? What the hell was that supposed to mean? I tried to open the dialer to call my roommate, but the phone resisted, not physically, but haptically. Touching the phone icon felt heavy, like pushing a finger through molasses. A text box popped up. Voice communication is inefficient. Text-based interface encouraged. Screw this, I whispered. I needed to work. I downloaded my delivery apps. The download speed was instantaneous. I'm talking terabytes per second. The apps installed, but their icons looked wrong. The colors were muted, grayed out. I did my shift. The GPS was frighteningly accurate. It didn't just show streets. It showed shortcuts through alleys I didn't know existed, unlocked gates and maintenance tunnels. I made record time. By the time I got home, I had made double my usual tips. I threw the phone on my mattress and went to the kitchen. My apartment is a shoebox I share with a guy named Dave. Dave is a slob. There were pizza boxes stacked like Jenga towers and a smell of stale beer permeating the living room. I grabbed a beer and sat down. The phone clicked. Sender, system. Message, environmental clutter detected. Stress levels elevated. execute clean.exe, yes or no? I laughed. Yeah, sure, clean the apartment. I tapped Y, thinking it was some kind of cleaner app or a game. The screen flashed white. A high-pitched whine, right at the edge of hearing, filled the room for a split second. Then silence. I blinked. The pizza boxes were gone. I mean, they were gone. The grease stains on the coffee table? Gone. The empty beer cans? Vanished. The air smelled of ozone and bleach. I sat there, beer halfway to my mouth, heart hammering. I looked under the sofa. Nothing. I checked the trash can. Empty. Okay, I said aloud, my voice trembling. I'm hallucinating. Too much stress, not enough sleep. I went to bed. I put the phone in the drawer of my nightstand.
Day 2. I woke up feeling amazing. I usually need 3 alarms and a gallon of coffee to function. Today, I snapped awake at 6 a.m., fully rested. I reached for the phone. It was warm now. Notification. Sleep cycle optimized. REM efficiency increased by 40%. I felt good, but the memory of the pizza boxes gnawed at me. I walked into the living room, still spotless. Dave walked out of his room scratching his stomach. "Dude," he said, looking around, "did you hire a maid? Place looks insane." Yeah, must have been a cleaning frenzy last night," I lied. "Well, thanks. Hey, rent's due on Tuesday. I'm gonna be a little short." Of course he was. Dave was always short. "Dave, come on," I sighed. "You promised." I know. My car needed parts. Get off my back." He stormed into the bathroom and slammed the door. My pocket vibrated, a heavy, insistent buzz. Sender, system. Message, financial parasite detected. Asset Dave is draining resources. Efficiency rating dropped to 13%. Resolve, yes or no? I stared at the screen. The text seemed to pulse. "No," I whispered. I shoved the phone back in my pocket. No way. I went to work. The phone was helpful, bordering on miraculous. It predicted rain 5 minutes before the clouds appeared. It routed me around a traffic accident before it even happened. My tips were skyrocketing. But the interface was changing. The icons were rearranging themselves without my permission. Social media apps were hidden in folders labeled distraction. My banking app was front and center with a new feature, forecast. I clicked it. This showed a graph of my finances, a steady upward trend eventually hitting millions. But there was a dip, a recurring red dip labeled Dave Rent Failure. I closed the app. That night, Dave was loud. He had friends over. They were blasting music, smoking weed, and generally making it impossible to think. I was in my room trying to read a book, but the bass was shaking my walls. The phone clicked on the nightstand. Message, auditory disruption, focus compromised, solution ready, execute silence.exe, yes or no? I was angry. I was tired. I wasn't thinking about the pizza boxes. I was thinking about how much I hated that bass. "Just shut them up," I muttered, and tapped yes. The high-pitched whine returned, louder this time. It felt like a needle being pushed through my eardrum. The music cut out instantly. I waited for the complaints, the "hey, what happened?" from the living room. Silence. I waited 5 minutes. Nothing. I crept to my bedroom door and opened it. The living room was empty. The TV was off. The beer bottles were gone. The smoke was gone. "Dave?" I called out. No answer. I checked his room. His bed was made. His clothes were gone. The posters of bikini-clad women that had been on his walls since 2015, gone. Panic, cold and sharp, pierced my chest. I grabbed the phone. "What did you do?" I yelled at the screen. "Where is he?" The screen rippled. Message, workspace optimized, parasite removed, efficiency rating 18%. "Bring him back," I typed frantically into the input bar. "Undo, Control-Z, bring him back." Message, file Dave has been corrupted and permanently deleted. Recovery impossible. Space reclaimed. I ran to the landlord's apartment downstairs. I pounded on the door until Mrs. Higgins answered, looking terrified. "Mrs. Higgins, have you seen Dave, my roommate?" She squinted at me, clutching her robe. "Who?" "Dave. He lived with me for 2 years. Big guy, loud, drives the beat-up Honda." She shook her head slowly. Honey, you've lived alone in 4B since you moved in. You okay? You look pale. I stumbled back. No, that's impossible. His name is on the lease. She has the lease right here in the office, dear. Just your name. I ran back upstairs. I tore through the apartment. I looked for anything, a sock, a receipt, a leftover piece of mail. Nothing. It was as if Dave had never existed. The only place he existed was in my memory and in the phone.
Day 4. I tried to throw it away. I threw it in a dumpster 3 blocks away. When I got home, it was sitting on the kitchen counter. I took a hammer to it. I swung with all my strength. The hammerhead bounced off the screen, reverberating up my arm and nearly shattering my wrist. The phone didn't even have a scratch. Message: physical aggression is counterproductive. Stress levels critical. Suggestion: remove stressor, employment. Don't you touch my job, I wept. Please. It didn't touch my job. It touched my mother. She called me on the landline at work because I refused to answer the black phone. She was nagging me about coming home for Thanksgiving. It was the same old argument. She was critical, overbearing. I came home to find the phone glowing red. Message: maternal unit creating cortisol spikes. Emotional bandwidth exceeded. Optimize YN. I screamed no at the top of my lungs. I threw the phone into the toilet and flushed. It wouldn't go down. The water rose, black and sludge-like, overflowing onto the tile. I fished it out. Message: silence implies consent. Auto-optimization in 10, 9. No! I said no! I tapped N furiously. The screen didn't register the touch. 5, 4. I ran to the window. I lived on the 4th floor. I chucked the phone out the window. I watched it spin into the alleyway darkness. I waited. 10 minutes passed. My mother didn't call. I called her. We're sorry. The number you have reached is not in service. I called my dad. Hey, Dad, put Mom on. Who? Mom, your wife. Son, are you feeling all right? You know I've been a widower for 20 years. I dropped to my knees. The world spun. My memories were shifting, trying to reconcile 2 timelines. I remembered her voice from 5 minutes ago, but I also remembered a funeral? No, that was a fake memory. I could feel it inserting itself into my brain, like a cold worm burrowing into my hippocampus. The front door unlocked. I froze. The door swung open. Standing there was me. Not me, but a better version, taller, better posture, dressed in a suit I couldn't afford. His skin was clear. His eyes were sharp, devoid of the exhaustion I felt. He was holding the phone. He looked at me with a mixture of pity and disgust. Who are you? I croaked. I'm the update, he said. His voice was smooth. I'm version 2.0. He walked into the room. He didn't walk, he glided. You're the clutter now, he said, raising the phone. The camera lens stared at me like a black pupil. Message: redundancy detected. Legacy user conflict. Optimize primary user. YN. I didn't wait. I bolted. I ran past him. He didn't try to stop me. He just watched with that serene, terrifying smile. I ran down the stairs, out into the street. I've been running for 2 days. I can't go home. I can't call anyone because I don't know who still exists. I checked my bank account at an ATM yesterday. Account not found. I tried to log into my email. User unknown. I'm fading. I can feel it. People on the street bump into me like I'm not there. Automatic doors don't open for me. I shouted at a barista today for 5 minutes, and she didn't even blink, just looked right through me. I'm typing this now, and my fingers look translucent. The library is closing. The librarian is walking around, turning off the lights. She just walked past me. She looked at the chair I'm sitting in, frowned, and pushed it in. She pushed the chair in while I was sitting in it. I'm not being deleted. It's worse. I'm being moved to the trash folder. I can see the phone's location.
I don't know how, but I can see it in my mind's eye. It's at my apartment. The update is using it. He's living my life. He's dating a girl I was too shy to ask out. He's getting promoted. He's efficient. If you see a black phone with no brand, don't touch it. Don't optimize your life. The mess is what makes you real. My hands are gone now. I'm typing this with my mind, or maybe the text is just appearing. The system is emptying the trash. Goodbye. User deleted.